Hey Doc, you better scan that again. I don't think we're going to make it through quality control. Quality control? Where we're going, we don't need quality control. Now, before I begin, let's all just enjoy something fun. Here, but not in part two. Blink, blink. Tell me if anything coming up looks kind of off. Huh? Pause or rewind a bit if you want. What do you think? Now look at this. Better one or two? Still nothing? Well, stay tuned. This video is about the bad credits on the Back to the Future Blu-ray, etc. And no, it is not about the to be continued ending or arguing for its inclusion. I'll talk about the other issues later. Imagine my surprise in October 2010, getting the 25th anniversary Blu-ray trilogy set as soon as I could, and seeing that first clip. What you're seeing now is a split screen of two copies of the movie. The bottom half is from the inaugural 2002 widescreen DVD release of the trilogy, also used in the 2009 single movie release, and the top is from the 2010 25th anniversary set, with the DVD version here identical to the Blu-ray. Even if you didn't notice the problems in the first clip, or the second didn't jump out as any better, this comparison should make all the problems crystal clear. First, the horizontal squish. It's almost exactly the difference between 16:9 and 4:3. It's very obvious if you know what to look for. The other two parts can be kind of described as listing lazily to the left, because it's slanted a little bit, and it's also not centered. The 2002 version isn't necessarily better in all respects. It certainly has a little bit of jitter to it. You can argue that the letters are a little bit more blurred, but that's not really the concern here, because any better transfer of the same thing would fix those problems. Before I get any further, why end credits? Who cares? It's true that movie end credits are a little bit more special to me than to most other people, even when they're fairly straightforward. But they're still important, and I do think that the proper, faithful presentation of a movie is something that applies to the whole movie and not just the first 95% of it. Plus, I'm trying to get this actually fixed. And other things like weird contrast and digital noise reduction, grain erasure, and stuff like that are being talked about. And not only has Universal not addressed this in 10 years, but there have been several re-releases of this disc since, including in the Universal 100 Years of Movies set, the 30th anniversary repackage that also included the complete animated series and so forth. Other regions, even though sometimes different countries wind up using different transfers, in this case it's still the same one. It's also mind-boggling that after the original DVD's framing fiasco, Universal will be reluctant to admit that they maybe could have gotten something else wrong too. Plus, it is one of the most popular trilogies of all time, so you'd think they would want to get it right. The 35th anniversary is coming up. There is probably a 4K release on the horizon for October. Maybe I'm too late. Maybe it's completely unnecessary, and there's been a perfect new transfer done already, and it's ready to go, and the masters have been stamped and everything. Can I be certain that there will be a new Blu-ray master made as well? I would like a proper Blu-ray copy of the movie. Most 4K releases that I've been seeing lately have been combo packs with a 4K and a regular Blu-ray inside, but I don't know. So that's really my goal. Now you might be saying, well, maybe the one on top actually is correct. Maybe everything else is wrong. Well, every other version, videotapes, laserdiscs, and so forth, all have the regular looking ones, and I've confirmed on at least 2 film prints that this is the way it looks. But you can also look at it mathematically, and that's what I'm going to do now. Here's a still frame from the old DVD. Level, the central line is in the center. Circles look like circles. You can see the round O's and C's of the avant-garde font. Now let's see what happens if we tilt it just a little bit. It's actually only about 0.3 degrees, and then after we slant it, we squish it. And it does happen in this order. If you look carefully, right angles are no longer right angles in the new version. If it had been squished and then slanted, right angles would still maintain their shape. As you can see, once you've done those exact 2 transformations, they line up. To presume that someone made it look like this on purpose is a little insulting, but that's where the proof of the old film prints comes in. If you need another example, you can look at this quickly. The difference in shape between these logos should be very evident. One thing that I haven't been talking about, which might be fun to address later, is the unfaithfulness of the soundtrack, which seems to have been made in 5.1 from alternate stems and occasionally retimed or redone sound effects. The most popular example is when Doc first shows up and he says to Marty, "Marty, you made it!" And here's what it sounded like before the 2002 5.1 mix. "Marty, you made it!" I would love to see an alternate audio track that represents the original 80s and 90s mixes of the trilogy. It's not that hard to do on a format that supports multiple audio streams. The last thing I would love to see would be a reinstatement of the old original Universal Studios logo at the end. You don't really see the original Universal Studios logos at the end of a lot of their movies on home video for some reason. Animal House, I think, does Cape Fear because sound continues over it. In general, it's not. And it's neat. It's a little old 80s thing with dots painting on it. I forget exactly because I don't get to see it all that often. And I think the longer we get from the release of a movie, the more interesting it is to see that sort of time capsule effect. But anyway, there you go. Thanks for watching.